Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We're gonna do actually a trackside review of a new pair of gloves that I just received. These are the Racer Gloves Hyper Gloves, and I've been really excited to try these out because I actually ordered this over a year ago. I received it over a year ago, but it's been just so busy that I haven't really had the time to do a proper review, and I didn't want to do like a sterile in the office or at house kind of review, because that's really just reading from a marketing brochure and pamphlet. What I wanted to do is actually take it out on track, ride with it, and tell you guys exactly how it feels on your hands and how it feels, when you first take it out of the packaging and all that kind of stuff, okay? So the other thing that we're also gonna do today is we're gonna compare it with my all-time favorite gloves, which are the Racer high-speed gloves, which I have been wearing for multiple seasons now. In general, I really like the brand. I really like Racer gloves. I've been wearing them for over 10 years now. I've had pretty much every single type of racing track focused glove that they have. I've also had a bunch of other brands too, like Held, Alpine Stars. At the end of the day, these became my absolute favorite gloves of all time. So I'm really curious to see how the new Hyper Glove stacks up to them. First off, let's do a kind of unpackaging. It's really simple. It's literally just this here. And then I'll just show you guys some of the features of the glove, and we're gonna take it out on track, come back, and then share some insights and learnings that I found. So the packaging is very simple. Anyway, so these are the gloves here. Let me show you guys. Can you see this up close? Okay, so these are the gloves. First impression is that it's extremely light. This is crazy light. I am actually really surprised by how light it is. The high-speed gloves, you can feel a little bit more heft on them. I don't have like a scale here, but you can actually feel the difference in weight. I'm gonna gander. A part of that is because this glove uses carbon fiber hard parts. So you have carbon fiber here, you have carbon fiber all along the fingers, where pretty much all the knuckles, as well as the ulna for your wrist protection here as well. So that definitely stands out right away. On the other side of it, you have this kangaroo palm, and the leather here that they use is a combination of kangaroo from the palm and up, as well as what they call, oh wait for the cart, we're at the track, so there's gonna be sounds. So the other material they use is called Petard's leather, and I didn't know what that was. I was like, what the hell is Petard's? So I looked it up, and it's actually a British leather company that was founded in like 1826, and they make all sorts of leather products for like aviation, automobile, motorcycling, etc. Racer Gloves sources their leathers from them, as well as this kangaroo palm, which I'm a huge fan of because they've used that in pretty much all of their offerings, and I can tell you that the kangaroo leather is just so supple, and it's just such a nice feel to your fingers. It's a big reason why high-end suits are made out of kangaroo, because kangaroo offers you a much lighter material to use than cowhide, but it's also still very abrasive and very protective. Racer gloves, all the track focused gloves they have use kangaroo for their palm and fingers, which gives you that extra feel, and it's just super soft and supple. So I really like it. The other thing that you want to notice here is we've got the Knox SPS sliders, because that's really where you're gonna hit your palm when you go down. That's pretty much like where kind of naturally instinct is to kind of jut your hand out. All in all, it's very similar to the high speed. You also have a double enclosure system, so just your standard around the wrist and around the base of the forearm here. The gloves also come in black, white, and there's a white and red colorway as well, but I like black gloves. It just works well with the suits and things that I have. But let's go ahead and try it on. It's like the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay. So gloves fit on, and then you have this little flap here to hide the wrist enclosure, which is nice. Keeps it a little bit more organized there. That's one hand. And then I've got my other one. They look so similar. I was like, which one do I grab? And then here's the other one too. You'll also notice that the ring finger and the pinky finger are attached. So some glove manufacturers really think that this is what helps you kind of prevent the pinky finger from snapping back or rolling in the wrong way when you go down. So it keeps a little bit more structure for when the incident happens that you go down. All in all, if the leather is very supple, love it. It's kind of consistent with what Racer Gloves does. The fitment is a little bit tight. I'm a little bit surprised. It's a little bit tight up on the fingertips here. I don't know if I can possibly show on the camera, but it's pretty much right at the edge of the fingers here. A little bit snug compared to the high-speed gloves. but the rest of it feels good. It feels very racery. The knuckles feel good here. You can see how the palm here stretches out just a smidge. That means that, you know, it's a little bit tight on you. Forgot to mention this. So I wear a medium in gloves, pretty much a medium in gloves for racer. I've been wearing mediums in other brands for a long time, and it's been very, very consistent. I have like pretty normal hands. And I also got these in medium, and these are a little bit tighter than expected. And let me show you side by side how this glove looks next to the high speed. Okay, so to your right here, this is the high-speed gloves, and these are the hyper gloves. As you can see by the carbon, and this is a TPU hard material here. It looks good. I like that this is actually looks like a bit more protection on the hyper gloves than on the high speed. And then also this area here, you'll notice that it's a little bit looser too on the high speed, whereas this one's a little bit more snug. All in all, really good impression. Little tight, little smidge tight on the hyper gloves, but I think, you know, maybe they'll break in when we get a few laps in. All right, that's it for now. We're gonna go ahead and gear up and hit the track, and then I'll report back on how these perform. Cool. Cha. All right, guys, so I just finished my on-track sessions, or a couple of different sessions, with both the new hyper gloves as well as the high-speed gloves back to back. And I've actually got a couple of learnings to share with you guys. Like I was saying before we got on track, it's a little bit tight. It actually became very, very pronounced on track, especially because you've got these carbon knuckles here, and that doesn't really give you any give whatsoever. So when you've got your hand wrapped around the throttle, it starts to feel really, really tight, and actually becomes kind of prohibitive in terms of movement, and it got really kind of uncomfortable. So I would definitely have to say that if you are a medium, you have to go one size up on your sizing. The other thing about the gloves is that the leather is super, super supple. So I can definitely, you know, like this kangaroo leather they use, really, really high quality, very, very nice. That's kind of consistent with a lot of the racer gloves though. The other thing though that I realized is that the way that this glove straps on is actually not that great if you're wearing a suit. The thing that I have an issue with is, as you can see, this hole here is just not that big. So when you slip it onto your suit, there's not that much room to get around it, right? And so that was one thing here, and it definitely became kind of apparent. It looks good when it's on it. This enclosure here is actually kind of a pain in the butt when it's beneath it. And again, it looks good because it's not on top, but if you look at the way the high speed is done, it's gonna be on the very top here. So when I put it on here, so it's very easy for me to just strap it this way. And the enclosure here is a little bit larger too. So you have a little bit more room. Suits aren't all the same. So I think I'd appreciate that more. The other thing that I would also note is that the high-speed gloves has this little bit of a pattern here. It's just, you know, a little bit more interesting in terms of the looks and the aesthetics. I do prefer the look of this one as well. The one critique about racer gloves in general though is that there's not that many colorways, right? It's really black or white. That's kind of what you get. So yeah, so at the end of the day, I would say that the hyper gloves did not replace the high speed as my favorite gloves. These are still very much my favorite gloves out there. And the last comment here is pricing. So the hyper gloves come in at $259.99, and then the high speed gloves come in at $279.99, and there's only a $20 difference. So with that, that in mind, I would definitely still recommend this glove, and especially compared to the field of like Dainese full metal gloves, which are, you know, over $400. And the other previous gloves that I really liked were the Held Phantoms and the Held Titan gloves. Those again are over $300. So this really is going to be, I think, the best value you're going to get. The only compromise you really give up on is colors. It only comes in black or white. So, you know, pick or choose which one works for you and go with that. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to do more of these kind of trackside reviews. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Or if you have any requests for gear reviews, please let me know. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace. I'm actually wearing 2 different boots today. So I accidentally loaded one of each boot. So I have my Dainese axle boot here and I have the Super Tech boots on the left side. So let me know if you guys want a boot review.